has lots of votes. And so let's jump to it's long. I'll read it out. What do you say to people who view this new trend towards automated recruiting as increasingly impersonal? I feel like it creates frustration when you can't actually talk to a real person, and trying to get a job is like trying to get customer service at a company that's not Amazon. Have at it. I prepped you that this would come up, so he's been locked and loaded for this,
Yeah.
and then I'll take it from there.
No, I think like one of the things that a common question that I get is this question because I think as our online assessment has gained in popularity and we've been using it for over 5 years now, and that's a pretty long time. The myth is that it's 100% automated, that it's all machine learning based, and students are taking a test and we're spitting out like a team match, and then you're placed, and then you take a number, you have a start date, and you go.
And that's not at all how it works. The top scoring people are all routed to me personally. I cherry pick the people I want, and then everybody else, no, nothing like that.
One of the things,
Although that's a good idea.
the thing that we do at Amazon, in any business at Amazon, is we start with the customer and work backwards. And one of the feedback that we get was, you didn't select me. I didn't get to start the interview process. And while we can't interview everyone, this has really opened the doors for us to give many more students a chance to interview with us. And the online assessment is just the the starting point of how we interview and assess individuals. And so it is not 100% computer based. You will be talking to somebody in some capacity, whether through additional interviews, whether you're talking to an engineer about why they should come to Amazon, and talk about how you took the online assessment. And so it is not just 100% online assessment, SAT, you get a score, and then we tell you what school you're going to be admitted to. It's not that, and it's not as scary or as intimidating. The feedback that we got was that students wanted more flexibility in when they first engaged with us. Hey, I know you're coming on campus, or you've given me 5 phone screen times. I can't make any of them. With an online assessment, you can start, like I mentioned in the beginning of this talk, at your convenience. Like we time bound it, obviously. When we give you the assessment, you have X amount of time to complete it. It's typically 2 weeks, sometimes longer. Yes, you can get extensions, all that kind of stuff. But it's just the beginning of your journey. One of the things that I forgot to mention to advice on how to succeed, especially in these technical assessments, is you absolutely need to know how to debug if you are interested in an engineering role. We start with that. And so a lot of people don't know. And so just a pro tip, make sure like you're brushing up on debugging. As easy as that sounds, that's one of the first way that we just kind of assess you initially. So what I would say to individuals is our assessments are just the first step. We understand that the misperception could be that it's impersonal. That is not our intent. Our other roles, and I'm focusing heavily on engineering roles, but our other roles that have assessment, it's also just a way to just, like we have a starting point to know like what you may be interested in or what you're good at.
And so that
as we talk
assessment
to
is
you.
not coding at all.
No,
It's
no,
it's other factors
exactly.
about basically how you approach work, your personality, the way you solve problems. It's not possibly technical at all.
Yeah.
So we use that. The one thing I want to address here that you may not know, I'm sure you know from our competition, there's a lot of frustration with automated resume screeners, and the fact that resumes come in by the thousands. I once read that like Google posted a role and they got 37,000 applicants or something. I don't know if that's true or not, but there is, and I don't know if we use any automated resume filtering, but I honestly don't know. Something I should go find out, by the way, or maybe you know. Does
Our pro-
industry recruiting do any automated filtering?
I know that in the past we've experimented. We being Amazon,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if like it actually went into production. I can't like
Yeah.
I'm not on those teams.
Yeah.
I can only speak for our team. There's a human that looks at the applicants.
Yeah,
Um,
there. So,
yeah.
but a lot of a lot of companies are now using resume scanners, and they use resume scanners in two ways. One of them is well known and has been in use for years, which is on job boards. You can set up a bunch of searches that give you all the resumes, if you're a recruiter, that give you all the resumes that hit certain keywords. So there's no doubt whether you're being scanned when you apply or whether you're being scanned if you post on a job board, automated search is a huge thing, and it's only going to get bigger, and it's because of volume. In the past, the way people recruited, believe this or not, there were these things called newspapers. Awesome Dave had a newspaper route as a child, so that tells you that he's even older than I am. But there were these things called newspapers, and people put ads in those, and other people sent in resumes or came physically into the office and gave them to people. The world has changed, and now you get applicants from all over the world. And so the point is, that's led to a lot of automation. Anytime anything is online, there's going to be somebody trying to automate it. Quality varies. Earlier in this show, we described how we assess candidates, and it's not automated in that gross sort of look for keywords. If it says, I am an awesome ninja coder, throw it out as overhype. And if it says, I am a humble C++ developer, bring them in. We don't do that. But I know a lot of companies do, and that's real. I said Devin and I are going to talk about networking. For those of you who've been on the show before, you know that I talk all the time about the value of building a network. You can get past almost any gatekeeping system by knowing someone in the company. And for all you folks who are at different universities, you probably have alumni who are here. And so there's a million ways for you to get different types of consideration, to get around systems you may perceive as impersonal. There's a lot of ways, and it involves, and by the way, that's valid skill. It turns out that we have the data that says the most likely things to make you succeed at Amazon are not only your technical skill in whatever you do, finance technical skill, artistic and design skill. Those are necessary but not sufficient. It's actually your human characteristics that are going to make the difference. And we know very well that the number one factor in success beyond your technical skill is grit. The idea that you are going to fight through challenges, and when you get a setback, you're going to work to overcome it. One of the number one things that determines success in an internship here turns out to be, did you make a code check-in your first week? So we know that those people who don't make a check-in their first week are big on learning. Oh, I have to learn before I can do this. I have to study it. The people who just jump in and give it a try tend to do better. And there's someone in chat here saying they call low GPAs or blank GPAs. Totally, some companies do that. Pink Dragons, thank you for the cheer. But what I want to point out is that there's a lot of different ways to get a job, and those begin with using the leverage you have, the tools you have to stand out from the pack, and your human characteristics matter. I want to check some stats with you because I think people will care. When I knew, and I may be out of date because we've grown the program, when I knew about 70% of interns that came in ended up with a full-time offer or an offer to return as an intern if they were multi-year, not yet graduated. Is that about the same or drifted down a little with the larger volume?
No, I think, I can't speak to specifics, but I think we have a reputation that's
code for I was giving up secrets.
Yeah. I will say that students know to apply to our internship because they know it's they have a high probability of getting a full-time offer and that they're going to be set up for success. So it doesn't necessarily mean you get an internship or just going to make you an offer. They know that they're going to have to put in the work, but they know that the manager and the mentor that are assigned to them are going to really work with them to ensure that they're set up for success. So I think like the numbers that you were throwing out, that was when we were hiring in the hundreds, and now we're hiring in the thousands. And so I can say that I'll say this: it's not anything lower than that. So,
oh yeah. Well, so we're hiring more. So it's all right. Very good. So that's awesome that everyone. So the point is, work to get an internship. You'll have a good chance of getting a job offer. And I will just say most people then